Hello, my name is Anna, and I love trying vintage recipes. So today, I'm trying 3 appetizer recipes from the 1950s. Today's recipes come to us from Good Housekeeping's Appetizer book. This book was originally published in 1958, and I'll talk more about it a little bit later. So if you know me in real life, you know what kind of food is my favorite. It's party food. If someone comes and asks me, like, what's your favorite kind of food? Most of the time, all of the time, I'm gonna say party food. Second place is party leftovers. I've really been loving the Good Housekeeping books lately, so I was pretty excited to give some of these recipes a go. The first recipe I'm gonna make is this corn chip cheese dip, and I chose to put this together first because I feel like dips and spreads and things like that can really benefit from some time just in the fridge. The flavors have time to mix and mingle and get really delicious. I'm gonna cut this in half, so you're gonna see very small amounts here, but I will have the full recipe in the description down below. This dip starts with cream cheese, very soft cream cheese actually, and some light cream, which I'm actually using half and half. Light cream is not always the easiest for me to find. I know it's available in some places. I don't always see it at my store, but half and half is a good substitute. So I'm gonna mix that together. So cream cheese and cream are all mixed together very smooth. Basically, I just need to add the rest of my ingredients here. And that includes a little bit of mayonnaise, some paprika and some salt. I have a bit of garlic that I've minced. Some Lee and Perrins. These are all very reminiscent of the 50s. Not that we don't use it now, but it was a very common ingredient in things like this back then. And I have some fresh lemon juice in here. And finally, some prepared mustard. Okay, that's all we got. I wasn't really thinking, and I already put the beaters to my hand mixer in the dishwasher. So I'm gonna mix this by hand. I could get it back out, but you know, I think I can manage this. I really just wanted to use the hand mixer on the softened cream cheese to make sure it was very like lump free when I mixed it with the cream. That is like more colorful than I expected between the paprika and the prepared mustard. You know, there wasn't a lot of either of those things in here. Ooh, it kind of smells like egg salad, to be honest. I am gonna wait to try this until I make the other appetizers because, like I said, I think it could just really benefit from some time in the refrigerator. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Lume. Lume is a whole body deodorant, and the way that it works is that it actually prevents odor from happening in the first place. It blocks odor-causing bacteria on the skin and works for up to 72 hours. It's clinically proven to be safe for your skin, so you can use it anywhere on your body that you want to control odor. It even works on sensitive skin like mine. I have been loving the smooth, solid, whole body deodorant, and this goes on just so, I'm gonna just demonstrate some here, so incredibly smoothly. Like, it feels so nice and soft going on. It doesn't tug at your skin, it doesn't irritate things, and it doesn't stain your clothes. Like, you can't even see that. There are 8 scents to choose from. My personal favorite is the toasted coconut, but they have clean tangerine, peony rose, and if you don't like scents, they even have an unscented version. If you'd like to give Lume a try for yourself, their starter pack bundle is perfect for new customers. It includes a full-sized stick deodorant. It has a tube of the invisible cream deodorant, and then you get to pick 2 free products like the acidified body wash. I really like this one in clean tangerine, and also the acidified deodorant wipes. These are in cool cucumber. They are super, super refreshing after a workout or working outside, or, you know, these would also be really great for travel, like if you're having a layover somewhere and you need to freshen up. The best thing about the starter pack bundle is that you get to try a lot of products and figure out what is right for you. So the Lume starter pack bundle is 30% off what you would pay if you purchased all of these products individually, and US shipping is free. As a special offer to my followers, new customers will get an additional $5 off if you click the link in my description down below and use the code Cooking Books at checkout. Our annual beach trip to Alabama is coming up soon, and if you live in Alabama or you've been to Alabama, you know it's hot there, so all of these products are coming with me. Thank you again to Lume for sponsoring today's video. So next I'm gonna work on these pizza roll-ups. First off, let's just say, isn't this a cute illustration? Just love it. And this is from the Do Ahead section. And I really love any kind of party food that I can make fully or partially ahead of time. Blend cheese, tomato sauce, ripe olives, and oregano. So I have my shredded cheddar cheese. Yes, cheddar. The recipe says cheddar. I have my tomato sauce. This is just plain. It just says tomato sauce, so I opted for the plain kind. I have my chopped up ripe olives. Those are black olives. And I know not everybody loves olives, but I love olives. And just a pinch of oregano, like the tiniest, teeniest amount. Funny thing, it says that you can use oregano or chili powder in this. I thought that was kind of funny because they don't seem like interchangeable things to me, but apparently they are in this recipe anyway. And you know, that didn't take long, did it? It's all pretty much combined. So I'm gonna set this all aside and move on to the next step. So next comes the assembly, and I have a few pieces of white bread that I have removed the crusts from. I'm just gonna make a few of these right now. You know, I can refrigerate the rest of this mixture. If I were having a party, I would make a lot more. So you need some soft white bread, you need to remove the crusts, and it says thin slices. You know, I just have standard kind of white bread. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll it and kind of like flatten it, mostly because I have to spread the mixture on and then I have to roll it up like a jelly roll. And I feel like it's gonna just happen much more easily if I can flatten this bread a little bit. I'll do that with all of them. You know, if you can find thinner slices of bread, or if you have unsliced bread and you can slice it very thin, I think, you know, go that way. But I think with what I have and what I had access to at the moment, that this is gonna work just fine. Shift some things around. Spread the slices with the cheese mixture. We're just gonna do a little at first and see how it goes. And I'm gonna use an offset spatula for this because, you know, I love an offset spatula and I will use it any chance I get, but it truly is a very handy little tool. And I'll link my favorite one in the description down below. Now, if you don't like olives, you could probably vary this up. My thought immediately goes pepperoni. Chopped up pieces of pepperoni or mushroom or something like that. You know, whatever you want to put in a pizza, you could probably put in here. You could probably even use pizza sauce and not, you know, mix the oregano and tomato sauce. That's what we have so far. And now I have to roll it up. So that is what I am gonna do. Yeah, this is going a lot more easily since I have flattened this. Okay, so I'm gonna do the other two. I'm not being super precise about like the amount. I'm just kind of like, what looks good? What feels good? I think you can customize it a bit. Whoops, I overfilled that one probably. I probably did a little bit. I'm fine with that. I'm good with that. I think that looks pretty nice. Well, it's rolling. It's rolling. But now I have to brush these with just a little bit of melted butter so that they will get toasty and beautiful. I'm going to try to get the ends too. You know what would be great in this? I didn't do it because it's not in the recipe. I think if I put a little garlic salt in there, that could have been really great. Yeah, garlic is definitely a thing that is missing on these, I think. It's just my opinion. It says that I can actually refrigerate these. So I'm gonna pop these in the refrigerator while I assemble my next appetizer. Next, I'm going to be making these peach kabobs, and it's basically ham, peaches, and a sauce, and then you kind of like broil these in the oven. And this is also something that you can make ahead of time. I love it so much. And I'm just gonna make a few of these because I don't need to make an entire batch. I have some toothpicks here in my cute little owl holder, and some chunks of ham and some chunks of canned peaches that I've drained, and I kind of blotted them off. I dried them off a little bit. I thought they would be a little easier to work with. So you just take a chunk of ham, and the recipe does say you can substitute lunch meat for this, so like Spam, basically. And you take a chunk of one of the peaches. They are slippery, oh my gosh. And that's what we have right there. So I'm gonna lay these in my baking dish. I'll assemble these, and then we'll move on. Ta-da! Next, I am going to put together the glaze for these, which consists of soy sauce, vinegar, and a little bit of brown sugar. I just want to mix that until the brown sugar is dissolved. I made a little more glaze than I probably need. Up until this point, you can assemble these and refrigerate them. So I'm going to blot these with a little bit of this sweet and salty glaze. So I did say that you can substitute the ham. You can substitute Spam for the ham or lunch meat, but you can also substitute pineapple for the peach, according to the recipe. I thought that was nice. You could make a whole assortment of these, really. Things on picks. So imagine this dish being very, very full for a very large party instead of just me. You have to broil these for a few minutes and, you know, then I'll assemble everything and give it a taste. So check out my little appetizer spread here. I think it's so cute. Of course, this is mostly like tiny amounts of things. If I were having like a real, you know, gathering or party, it would be a lot bigger, but this is just kind of like a little bit of snacking. I'm really excited to try this. First off, I kind of want to try the corn chip cheese dip. And I want to try it without the corn chips. I want to see what it tastes like without the Fritos because the Fritos are really, really salty. Okay, I'm just going to take a little bit on the back of a spoon. Ooh, that is very garlicky and very tangy from the mustard. It almost tastes a little bit like a deviled egg, kind of without the egg somehow, probably just because of the mustard there. Okay, so it's pretty tasty on its own. And I have a feeling that these very, very salty corn chips are gonna kind of like mesh with this very, very well. So let's try your classic Fritos. That's good. The saltiness of the corn chips, it's kind of like the little icing on the cake, the little bit of a missing piece for this. It just completes the flavor super, super well. I forgot the names of things. Not that they're hard. So these are the pizza roll-ups right here. Bring them over, see if I can get a better shot for you. Maybe, yep, so there they are. Instead of keeping them as like one piece, I opted to cut them in half. Cookbook said you could do that. I think they're a little bit more like poppable and manageable in this size. So this is just like each roll I cut in half. Okay, which one do I want? We're gonna try one. I mean, tomato and cheese is great together. So I knew these were gonna be good. They're a little mild in flavor though. Like I think you could up the pizza factor a little bit by adding more seasonings to the tomato sauce or just use pizza sauce. Just like skip the plain tomato sauce and that little pinch of oregano and just use pizza sauce. It might be interesting with the chili. It said in the recipe you could add oregano or chili powder, which I thought was interesting. I'd go for the chili powder. I could use a little spice on this. I would definitely add some garlic, maybe some garlic butter. You know, with that butter that I brushed on the outside, I think it would add a lot. These are very simple, very mild, but they do taste good. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with the combination of flavors. And lastly, that brings us to the peach kabobs. So let's take a peek. Kabobs. You can see the little bit of glaze there. Really easy, pretty simple to put together. I broiled these and I brushed a little bit of additional sauce on them as I kind of turned them. It just took like maybe, I don't know, 8 minutes or so to get them at this stage. So I think I forgot to mention the bake time on the pizza roll-ups. That was 15 minutes and I turned them halfway through so they get toasty on both sides. But anyway, back to the peach kebabs. Let's give it a try. The peach is good. I don't know if I can, I think I would have made these pieces of ham a little bit more bite-sized. It's salty, it's sweet, it's got all the things, really. I think in addition to lunch meat or Spam, you know, in place of the ham, I think kielbasa would be good. I'd love a like nice smoked sausage on this. You could use your leftover ham for this if you had leftover ham. It's a good combo. I'd love to try it with pineapple because pineapple's like my favorite fruit. So I'm pretty happy with this. I love party food. I love little snacks and nibbles and, you know, plates of small things. So I think this was a great combination of food. Good Housekeeping's Appetizer book was originally published in 1958, and it is the first in a series of lots of little booklets by Good Housekeeping. I brought a few out of my collection to show you. I don't have the full set, but I do have several, and I'm kind of like working on collecting all of them. This one is Good Housekeeping's Cake Book. What else did I have? Good Housekeeping's Company Meals and Buffets. And I also have Good Housekeeping's Around the World Cookbook. These are just a few, just a little sampling of what I have in my collection. And I believe that once you collected all of them, there was like a little binder that you could just like put your whole collection into. So these are all from the 1950s, and they are some of my favorite Good Housekeeping books. I've cooked from a few of them before. I'm trying to think, what did I do? I did a video about ice creams and cold drinks. You know, I have definitely used a few of these before. One of the reasons they're my favorites is just because the illustrations are so cute. The lettering style on the front, super like kooky, makes me think of like a 1950s tiki party. And I'm sure there are some very appropriate recipes in this book to have your very own little tiki party. There are not only illustrations in here, there are full spreads with photographs of the food. I love this one. It features bacon crackers at the top, something I've definitely made before, something maybe you have made before. I've actually made them on this channel. I made a version of these crackers for my Dollar Tree video, like almost 2 years ago now. I've been doing this for a while. It's kind of hard to think about. Yeah, here's another one. I wasn't really able to exactly pinpoint what these are, but they look like Ritz crackers with cream cheese and a grape half. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge. It could be really good. I think it's just like, yeah, I think maybe there's just like a list of things. It doesn't actually say like, here's what this is like on this page. There's just this list of things that you can kind of like combine into a little spread for appetizer snacks if you're having guests over, that kind of thing. I just love these like full 2-page spreads where they kind of make this little vignette. There's a little vignette of foods. Oh, here's one too. This is nice as well. Don't you want to go to these parties? Ooh, yeah, this one looks good too. We've got a nice little chafing dish of bacon wrapped somethings. When in doubt, wrap it in bacon. So it's the appetizer book, but it says irresistible canapes, hors d'oeuvres, and nibblers. I thought it said nibbles at first, but it definitely says nibblers. Things that you can make for a little snacky party, or if you're having guests over, no matter the number. Maybe you're having them over, maybe they're dropping in, maybe they just, you know, you didn't even know. There's some really fast things you can do. In this book, there's also things that you can make ahead of time if you know you're having guests. That's helpful. This book is divided into, there's like sections, and then within those sections there's chapters. So there's like short order, which is just like things you can put together really fast. There's do ahead. I did a couple of recipes from the do ahead section because I feel like when you're having a party, you kind of want to do as much ahead as you can just because you want to enjoy yourself too. You're having a party for other people, but don't forget, you're having the party for yourself as well. You know, you want to have a good time. You want to enjoy your guests. Do stuff ahead if you can. And then within those chapters, it's kind of cool because it's like divided into the same sections almost. Yeah, dips and dunks, spread your own, stick and pick me ups. I love these names. Hot and bubbly. This is great. The very first page gives you like a really good guide on like how to have a little cocktail hour kind of thing. And there's really cute illustrations too. Like, can you resist? It says like how many things you should have depending on like how many guests. You don't want to go too overboard if you don't have to. It says just 2 please, or 3. Yeah, 2 or 3 kinds of nibblers with plenty of each. You know, I think that's a good guide if you're just gonna have a few people over. Drinks, napkins, be dashing, be daring. I also really enjoy the layout of these cookbooks. I mean, I don't know, there's something a little bit chaotic about it, but I just think, you know, there's something a little chaotic about all of these. So this is like the short order section. So these are just very simple things that you can make probably with ingredients that you mostly have on hand. This snappy dunk is onion soup mix and sour cream. Like, that is a classic. There's a blue cheese version where you add some blue cheese and cottage cheese to that. Very quick, very simple, just from pantry shelf items pretty much, and refrigerator items. There's a lot of fun like descriptive words in here too. Zippy cheese sauce and zesty frankfurters. Cheese biz. Oh yes, I need to know about cheese biz. I'm in the cheese biz. It says, so this is a recipe, but it's not written in the same way. It doesn't have like the list of ingredients. It says bake packaged refrigerated pan ready biscuits as label directs. That was hard to say, I don't know why. Then split, place cut side up on baking sheet and brush with melted butter or margarine. And then top with a circle of processed sharp cheddar cheese and a thin onion slice and broil them. That sounds pretty good, actually. I don't hate that. I just like that it's called cheese biz. Yeah, I kind of like how small and compact these are. And the illustrations, you know, they're not like full page illustrations. They're just kind of like spread throughout. Almost makes it feel like a magazine. I mean, Good Housekeeping was a magazine. I'm not sure if it's still in print. I haven't really kept up with what magazines are still out there. I feel like when I was a teenager, like magazines were a big part of my life, but not anymore, not so much. There's so many little bites and little nibbles and little appetizers in here. Oh, and I love that this was only, 39 cents. I still have the price tag on this one. It was 39 cents at the time. How fun. Chock full of ideas. So let's talk about the recipes I made today. So I started things off with the corn chip cheese dip. I thought that one was really tasty, like really interesting and kind of different. I would say on its own, you know, I tasted it without the corn chips. On its own, it has like, you can really taste the garlic and mustard, but it almost does feel like it's missing a little bit of salt. But then you eat it with the corn chips, which is what you're supposed to do, and that salt like kicks right in. So it's kind of like you really do want to eat those things together. I suppose you could maybe put this on like a buttery cracker or something, that might be good. But I think like salt-wise, you could go Bugles, you could go Fritos, corn chips, scoops, that kind of thing. I also think like definitely, it says do ahead if desired. I think when you're making a dip or a spread, it really is best to do it ahead of time, just to kind of let the flavors do their magic, right? Like you make a vegetable dip or something and you put your herbs and your flavorings in. If you eat it right away, it kind of tastes like each individual thing, and it doesn't work together. But if you let it sit in the fridge for a few hours, better yet, let it sit in the fridge overnight, something like this too, I think it just tastes a lot better. So next I made pizza roll-ups. I love anything pizza. I mean, pizza is delicious. Even when it's just okay, pizza is still pizza and it's still good. This one I thought tasted good. I definitely think it needed a little bit more seasoning in the sauce. Like it just said tomato sauce in the recipe, like just use regular tomato sauce, use pizza sauce, use marinara sauce, use something a little zestier and spicier. Or if you know, have just tomato sauce, like add more herbs and spices and stuff to it to give it just a little more flavor. I didn't mind the cheddar cheese in this. I thought it was fine, but you could certainly use mozzarella cheese, provolone, you know, something a little bit more along the lines of what you would possibly be used to for pizza. And of course, I loved the black olive, or the ripe olives as it says in the recipe, because I like them. I love olives, actually. You know, really, I think if you do like olives, this would be really good with green olives, like finely chopped green olives. I think that sort of like salty tanginess of the green olives really could have added something to this. But if you don't like olives, I'd go chopped up pepperoni and chopped up mushrooms. That's kind of like pepperoni and mushroom. Those are kind of my go-to pizza toppings in the first place. This was super easy. I mean, I know it's just white bread, but it tasted really good. Like you toast it up, it's hot and bubbly on the inside. It's nice and browned and toasty on the outside. I would say use garlic in the butter, use a little garlic salt or something to put in the butter before you brush it on. If I made something like this again, I would definitely do that. So while I think these tasted good, there were a lot of things you could do to both customize them and improve the flavor. Finally, the peach kabobs. I feel like it's kind of essential that you have something on a stick or something on a toothpick at a party like this. If you're gonna host, you know, a kind of like a 1950s, 1960s, like mid-century party of some kind, you gotta get those toothpicks out, right? So this was very simple. It was just a cube of ham, a piece of peach, like a canned peach, and then it was brushed with this like salty soy sauce mixture. And all of the flavors work together really well. So you had the salty ham, the salty soy sauce, the sweet brown sugar, and the sweet peaches. And it just all worked together to make a complete bite, I think. The ham was fine, but I kind of would like to do like a smoked sausage, like a kielbasa on that. Spam was also suggested. I would definitely try that. If I'm gonna eat Spam, I prefer it to be hot over cold, and then the pineapple that you could substitute in for the peaches. So you could do a combination of all of these things and kind of mix it up and have basically end up with two different types of appetizers by the end of it. This one was really, again, really simple, really delicious, had that nice browned and toasty kind of flavor after you broiled them. So what do you think of these appetizers, and what do you like to make when you're gonna have a party? I'd love to hear about it, so please let me know in the comments. I'd like to once again thank the sponsor of this video, Lume. New customers can get an additional $5 off the Lume Starter Pack bundle by visiting the link in my description down below and using the code COOKINGBOOKS at checkout. Do you love cookbooks and recipes from the 1950s? I have an entire playlist, and I'll link it in the description down below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.